Hello again. I'm Ron Lamberty with the Flex Fuel Forward campaign. We talked with Tony Crooks and Kelly Bogle of the USDA Rural Development Office about getting into and around the HBIIP application once you've been granted access to that application website. Here's part of that discussion.
I've got all of the permissions I need. I've got my enrollment complete. I've heard from them. I'm working on all of my other forms, but now I'm official and I can start the application process. Just kind of on the navigation of the site at first. Where do I go? How do I get there? Just from the start, logging in, setting up an account. How do we go about that?
So you will receive from our technology office from rd.adminappsupport@usda.gov is the URL higherblends-grants-apply.rd.usda.gov.
Oh, so they click on that and where do they go?
So they click on that and that will take them to a Salesforce application that will bring up all of the screens that we've talked about in tabular form during all of these presentations.
Okay.
And they just start completing that. It's actually a replication of the federal standard form 424. Okay. And we put that in an online version so that they can just walk through it tab by tab and complete it. Okay. And then we've added the additional fuel station worksheets and a place for them to upload attachments, and they will know when they've completed the application because we have an kind of a walkthrough overview of the application, and it tells them their progress. And they have yellow lights to say things aren't done yet, and green lights to say, okay, you've completed that part.
Cool. So this link that I go to, is that are they specific for each applicant, or does that get you to the?
That link is for every applicant, and
okay.
they will use their e-authentication email as their
okay.
username, and they will have a password that they've established for themselves.
Okay.
Which will get them into the application.
So the eAuth ID is your username, and then
yes,
you create
sir.
your own password. Okay. So as I'm going through this thing, one of the things that I know you guys have been asked when we set up this thing, you had on your the thing that you sent to get the approval, you had authorized users.
Yes,
so
sir.
The question has come up: after I get started, can I add authorized users?
Yes, sir, you can, but it will require you to submit another access request.
Okay.
With the additional authorized users. And I prepared a form there for you to refer to as you do that with my fancy fuels example. That request goes to higherblends-grants-access, ACCESS, @usda.gov.
Okay. So once I get on this site, what you mentioned the stoplight feature. Can I, if I stop, if I got some data and I don't know, I need to go do something else. If I stop and log out, will my information be saved, or can I come back to it later? How does that work?
Yes, you may. We expected that, given that it will take you about 78 hours to complete this thing, that you would probably want to do that in stages. So 1 tab at a time, 2 tabs at a time. Yes, you may, but you must remember, if you want to return to something with it completed, that you have to complete and save it.
And save it, okay.
Before you move on or move out of that tab.
So it's
so we put lots of reminders about saving before you move on.
So if I only have half of the questions on a particular tab answered, I wouldn't hit save, would I?
Yes, you can if you need to leave it. But yes, that's recommended.
So the save just keeps your progress wherever you are.
Yes,
on
sir.
The form, and you can go back to it though.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if you would you'll know the progress you make by looking at the progress tab. It will tell you how far along and what you need to complete before you can move on.
Right, and that was the next question, was how do you track the progress?
Yeah.
And that's good to know that there's the stoplight feature too when you get to the end.
Yes, sir. I think it's called a application overview tab.
Okay.
Is what we have it named.
And one of the things that you've made very clear, I know in a couple of the webinars that I've listened to, is you don't send this thing in, you don't hit send until everything is complete, because there aren't do-overs.
Yes, sir. There's no do-over on this.
Okay.
You want to make sure that it's complete, and particularly with respect to the uploads. In fact, we won't let you even hit the submit button until all the uploads have been uploaded.
So those
and so we've tried to put guardrails in all along the way, so that you know where you are, you know what remains to be done, and we won't let you submit really until you've done all of that.
If you need more information, go to the USDA HBIIP website or flexfuelforward.com, or use the other contact methods shown here. Thanks for following us, and we'll see you next time.